Have you ever believed in a kind of miracle medicine, one that asks for no pills, no money, yet has the power to heal so many illnesses, from brittle bones and sleepless nights, to the heavy shadows of depression? It may sound unbelievable, but in Japan, this remedy has quietly been embraced for hundreds of years. It isn't ancient ginseng, nor some hidden herbal secret. The answer is far simpler, something we see every single day: the light of the sun. But here lies the secret. It's not simply about whether you sunbathe or not. The Japanese have transformed it into a living ritual. From choosing the perfect moment to welcome the sun, to the posture in which they sit, even the way they breathe as the light touches their skin. To them, sunlight is far more than just brightness. It is medicine from nature itself, a ritual that nourishes both body and soul. Picture a quiet morning in a small Japanese village. The sun rises gently over the mountain ridge, mist lingers in the narrow alleys, and wooden doors slowly slide open. Elders step out onto their porches. One brings out a worn wooden chair, places it carefully facing the dawn, and sits silently, waiting for the first golden rays. Another carries a cup of hot tea, sipping slowly as they chat softly with neighbors. In the stillness, warm laughter drifts into the morning air, mingling with the songs of birds, and in the corner of the yard, frail yet graceful bodies move in rhythm to Radio Teso, the legendary exercise that has lasted for nearly a century. Their movements are simple, yet flowing, supple, like an elegant dance of old age. Gentle, sunlight lays its warmth across wrinkled faces, across trembling hands, like a soft blanket wrapping the whole body. The Japanese believe morning sunlight is the purest gift of nature, not harsh, not burning, but powerful enough to awaken the blood, nourish every cell, and begin a day in peace. Modern science has now unlocked the very secret the Japanese have trusted for centuries. When the morning sun touches the skin, UVB rays spark a miracle within. The body begins to create its own vitamin D, something food alone can never provide. In abundance, vitamin D is the golden key that allows calcium to strengthen our bones, protecting us from osteoporosis, the silent enemy of old age. But the magic doesn't stop there. Sunlight becomes an invisible shield, boosting the immune system, lowering the risk of heart disease, steadying blood pressure, and sustaining overall vitality. Even more, sunlight speaks to the mind. It stirs the brain to release serotonin, the happiness hormone. Serotonin lifts our mood, melts away stress, and sharpens memory and focus. And when night falls, that same serotonin transforms into melatonin, the hormone of sleep. The body then drifts into deep natural rest, without the need for any sleeping pill. Perhaps that is why Japan's elderly rarely suffer from insomnia, seldom fall into depression, and preserve a mental clarity that astonishes the world. But here is something remarkable. The Japanese never expose themselves to sunlight recklessly. For them, sunbathing is not a random act, but a ritual, one guided by rhythm and wisdom. They choose the purest hours of the day, at dawn, when the light is soft and tender, or in the late afternoon, when the sun glows golden like honey. These are the hours when sunlight heals, not harms. They do not linger outdoors for hours, nor burn their skin red. 15, maybe 20 minutes, that is enough. A short pause in time, where every ray of light sinks gently into the skin, into every living cell. In those moments, they breathe slowly, deeply, as if drawing the sunlight itself into their lungs. With every breath, warmth spreads through the body. It feels like a meditation in sunlight, still serene, and deeply connected with nature. For many elders, this ritual intertwines with Shinrin-yoku, the art of forest bathing. They stroll leisurely under the trees, letting sunlight filter through the leaves, mingling with the scent of wood, the fragrance of grass, the song of birds. Together, these create a natural therapy of healing, lowering blood pressure, easing the heart, strengthening the body, and restoring balance between mind and soul. When a sunbath ends, the Japanese do not rush back indoors. Instead, they continue with a small, yet deeply meaningful ritual, using a dry towel to gently rub their entire body. At first glance, it looks simple. but each stroke across the skin is like a traditional form of dry massage, stimulating blood flow, warming the body, and awakening it once more. They believe this ritual not only preserves warmth after greeting the morning sun, but also strengthens the immune system, boosting the body's resilience against illness. A simple act, perhaps. Yet in Japan, it has been carried on through generations, and today, science confirms what tradition has long known. Proper sunbathing can indeed transform the body's immune function. The results are so clear that the world cannot help but admire them. At the age of 85, many Japanese elders still climb stairs with ease, shop at the market on their own, read the newspaper calmly, and write in their daily journals. For them, sunlight is not only a source of light, but a lifelong companion, even a silent healer. Meanwhile, in Vietnam and many other Asian countries, the fear of sunlight is far more common. People cover themselves from head to toe whenever they step outside. Children rarely play beneath the open sky, and the elderly almost never sit under the sun. The consequences are worrying. Severe vitamin D deficiency, leading to osteoporosis, aching joints, fragile bones, weakened immunity, and restless, shallow sleep. We are neglecting a natural medicine that the Japanese have embraced to its fullest, of course. Sunbathing must be done wisely. The Japanese never expose themselves at midday, when ultraviolet rays are strongest and harmful to skin and eyes. They choose the gentler hours before 9 a.m. or after 3 p.m., when the light is softer, kinder. Their exposure is brief, just 15 to 20 minutes, long enough for the body to make vitamin D if they must stay out longer. They are careful, wearing hats, light clothing, or applying sunscreen to protect the skin. And for the elderly, sunlight holds yet another precious gift. It resets the body's biological clock. By meeting the sun each morning, their circadian rhythm is gently tuned, allowing sleep and wake cycles to become deeper and more natural. That is why Japanese elders so rarely complain of chronic insomnia, a condition far too common among older people in Vietnam. But the benefits of morning light go beyond the physical. It offers something deeper, a spiritual connection with nature, with the rhythm of the universe. Each morning, as they sit under the sun, they feel it, the joy of being alive, of breathing, of sharing this moment with the earth and sky. That sense of peace becomes a foundation for lasting mental health, an essential key to longevity. The Japanese even have a beautiful word for it, Hidamari, a place of warm sunlight. But it means more than just a sunny spot. It describes a state of the soul. When an elder says, "Today, I sat in Hidamari," it means they have found calm, healing, through nothing more than the sunlight itself. So the Japanese secret to long life is not something lofty or unreachable. It lies within the simple rays of dawn. They cherish it. They weave it into their habits, into their way of life. But for us, if we keep avoiding it, if we keep rushing past it, we may lose a miracle freely given by nature. Try it tomorrow. Spend just 15 minutes in the morning sun. You need not do much. Simply sit still. Let the light touch your skin. Breathe slowly and feel the warmth flowing through your blood. You may find your sleep deepening, your mind sharpening, your body growing stronger. And who knows, perhaps this small, humble habit may carry you to 90, 100 years, with a serene smile upon your face. Ladies and gentlemen, as the sun rises, those first rays awaken the body, stirring every vessel, every cell, and even the mind itself. But here comes the question: how can we sustain that precious energy throughout the day? The Japanese have an answer. They do not stop at sunbathing right after. They turn their attention to what they put inside their bodies, the key factor in long-lasting health. Surprisingly, they do not begin the morning with a strong cup of coffee, nor with a heavy breakfast dripping with oil and fat. Instead, they choose something far simpler, almost ordinary. Yet this humble food has the power to unlock digestion, cleanse the bloodstream, and fuel every cell with vitality. A small secret, but one that forms the very foundation of longevity. And now, we step into the next chapter of our journey, discovering the very first food that begins a Japanese morning. A secret many believe to be one of the keys to their remarkable health and longevity, well past 100 years of age. The first secret, water. The fountain at dawn. A Japanese morning does not begin with food. Right after drinking in the sunlight, they drink a glass of warm, pure water, sometimes with just a few drops of lemon. No sugar, no ice, no additives. This glass of water is like a fresh spring, washing away the residue in the digestive tract after a long night's rest. It gently awakens the intestines, setting the digestive system into motion. Scientifically, blood is often thicker right after waking. The liver and kidneys are hard at work filtering the waste that is built up overnight. Warm water helps thin the blood, allowing oxygen and nutrients to reach every organ more efficiently. That is why chronic constipation is rare in Japan, and why the danger of early morning strokes is far less common. The second secret: eating light. In tune with the body, the Japanese never rush into a heavy breakfast. They give the body about 30 minutes after drinking water, time for the digestive system to truly awaken. Only then does breakfast begin, and it is simple, yet refined. A small bowl of brown rice, a few slices of grilled fish, a bit of seaweed, and a warm bowl of miso soup. The meal is light, with little oil or strong spices, so the stomach is not shocked after a night of rest. Scientists explain that this way of eating provides steady energy, keeping the mind sharp, blood sugar stable, and avoiding the mid-morning crash that so many others face. The third secret: the golden ratio of breakfast for the Japanese. Breakfast is not about eating until full. It is about balance, the perfect harmony of nutrients. Protein from fish or boiled eggs gives sustaining strong muscles. Carbohydrates from brown rice or sweet potatoes gives providing long-lasting energy. Vegetables and seaweed gives adding fiber, minerals, and nurturing the gut microbiome. The key lies in the portion size. Breakfast makes up only about 30% of the day's total energy intake. This keeps the body light, prevents excess weight, yet provides strength all the way until noon without the need for sugary snacks. It is one of the reasons the Japanese maintain slender bodies and sharp minds, even into their 70s and 80s. As you see, the Japanese do not eat breakfast merely to fill an empty stomach. They treat it as laying the very first stone for the entire day ahead. But breakfast is only the beginning. To sustain energy, to stay clear-headed, to ward off disease, they rely on another habit, one that seems simple, yet holds extraordinary power: the art of balancing movement with rest. A clear philosophy: the Japanese live by a simple rule: the body should never remain in one state for too long. Stand too long gives blood pools in the legs. Sit too long gives vessels and joints are compressed. Move too much without pause gives the heart and joints grow weary. So they design a rhythm for life, like the rhythm of breath: movement, rest, movement, rest. Even in offices, after just 45 minutes, they stand, roll their shoulders, take a few steps, or simply stretch and gaze out the window. A few seconds may be enough. Blood flows again. The brain receives oxygen. The eyes find relief. For the elderly, this principle becomes even more important. They divide movement into gentle sessions throughout the day. Morning, a 20-minute walk. Noon, a period of quiet rest. Afternoon, just 10 minutes of stretching or balance exercises. In this way, muscles and joints stay active, but never overstrained. Researchers call it fractional movement, like medicine taken in small doses, its benefits lasting steadily throughout the day. The results are striking: reduced chronic inflammation, stable blood pressure, protection against muscle loss and memory decline. And even when they rest, the Japanese rest with intention, not endlessly scrolling on phones. Instead, they meditate, read, or simply lie flat on tatami mats, allowing both body and brain to switch off and truly recover. This gentle alternation of effort and pause creates bodies that are supple, free of chronic illness, and minds that remain sharp and alert well into the ages of 80 and 90. Dear friends, morning sunlight, a mindful breakfast, and the rhythm of movement and rest, these are not luxuries. They are humble habits, practiced with quiet persistence. Day after day, like the three legs of a steady stool, each one is essential. Remove one, and balance is lost. Health is not about doing as much as possible in a single day. It is about doing the basics, doing them right, and doing them long enough for the body to heal and renew itself. If we begin today, then every ray of sunlight, every meal, every single step, will become a brick laid firmly on the foundation of our own health and longevity. Have you ever wondered, just because you didn't know a tiny little trick, you ended up suffering through countless aches, fatigue, and discomforts that could have been avoided? There are things that seem unbelievably simple, yet if you had known them earlier, they might have helped you sleep better, feel less pain, and free yourself from unnecessary troubles in daily life. The surprising part, modern science is now proving that many folk remedies once thought to be nonsense actually work in astonishing ways. Hold a slice of ginger in your mouth and nausea fades away. Lie slightly on your side and you'll sleep more deeply. Cover your ears for a few seconds and hiccups stop instantly. It may sound unbelievable at first, but once you understand the mechanisms behind these effects, you'll realize the human body is far more remarkable than we ever imagined. In this video, we'll share 8 strange yet real health tricks that science has confirmed to have a solid foundation. And almost everyone who tried them has the same regret. If only I had known sooner. Let's dive in right now, shall we? Tip 1. Celery, the friend of blood pressure for those who often struggle with mild high blood pressure, feeling flushed, overheated, with a racing heartbeat. Celery is the very dish that should appear on the dining table at least 2 to 3 times a week. Modern science has shown celery contains apigenin, a flavonoid that gently dilates blood vessels, softens their walls, and improves circulation. Its rich potassium and fiber content provide a mild diuretic effect, reducing internal pressure within the vessels, naturally and smoothly bringing blood pressure back to balance. Perhaps that's why in traditional family meals, our grandparents always placed a plate of boiled celery at the center, not just for taste, but because they believed it could cool the blood. Today, instead of relying too heavily on medications or expensive supplements, you can gift your body a natural preventive method with one simple habit. Eat celery properly, at the right time, and consistently each week. Tip 2. Cilantro, the secret to banishing body odor even after showering thoroughly. Using deodorants and perfumes, many still struggle with unpleasant underarm odor. Yet, surprisingly, the silent savior might be right in your kitchen. Cilantro, also called coriander, in traditional medicine, cilantro is considered warm in nature, strongly aromatic, helping warm the lungs, regulate qi and blood, and most importantly, fight bacteria naturally thanks to its high essential oil content. Modern science also confirms cilantro essential oil, essentially linaloocane, inhibit odor-causing bacteria on the skin, while supporting detoxification through digestion. By drinking cilantro juice, eating it fresh, or adding it regularly to meals, the body is cleansed from the inside. Sweat odor becomes lighter, and it's especially beneficial for those with overactive sweat glands. It's no coincidence that folk wisdom passed down this simple trick. Drink cilantro water for a few days, and your body will smell fresher. No need for perfume or chemicals. Of course, cilantro isn't a miracle cure for all excessive sweating conditions, but for the right person, it's easy, cheap, safe, and worth trying. Sometimes, the smallest solutions bring the greatest change to daily life. Tip 3. Mung beans and red beans, plus staying hydrated. The secret to deep skin cleansing acne isn't just for teenagers. Many adults, even in middle age, still quietly battle stubborn breakouts on the chin, cheeks, back, and chest. At first, we blame late nights, heaty foods, or stress, but over time, the skin becomes harder to control. Pimples appear and disappear unpredictably. Many try countless methods, changing cosmetics, taking medications, strict diets, yet the skin remains rough, inflamed, and unhealed. The real issue, when topical solutions fail, it's time to look inward at 2 critical factors. The liver, when it underperforms, toxins build up, and the body pushes them out through the skin, causing acne. Hormones with age, stress, and poor diet. Sebum, overproduction, clogs pores, leading to chronic inflammation. And one of the gentlest yet most effective ways to restore balance is add beans plus drink enough water daily. Mung beans, red beans, and black beans are rich in soluble fiber and B vitamins. They cool the liver, stabilize hormones, and cleanse the digestive tract. Combined with proper hydration, not just plain water, but also bean broth or roasted brown rice tea, they help the body flush out toxins steadily each day. The results: clearer, brighter skin, reduced inflammation, and acne healing from the root. This method doesn't work as instantly as cosmetics or drugs, but that's exactly why it's sustainable, safe, and long-lasting. Healthy skin doesn't need to be unnaturally white, just acne-free, even-toned, and strong. That's the true sign of a body being cared for the right way from within. Asterisk. Tip 4. Mild asthma. Just one sip of strong coffee. Few people realize that a sip of coffee, something we usually drink just to wake up in the morning, can actually become a temporary lifesaver for those with mild asthma. The mechanism is simple. Coffee contains caffeine, a compound chemically similar to theophylline, which is used in bronchodilator medications. Once inside the body, caffeine can gently relax the airwaves, reduce bronchial muscle spasms, ease the feeling of shortness of breath, chest tightness, and wheezing in mild asthma. A study published in the Journal of Respiratory Pharmacology found that drinking the equivalent of 1 strong cup of coffee can slightly improve lung function for up to 2 hours. Of course, this doesn't mean coffee can replace medication, but in situations where medication isn't available, or when sudden weather changes trigger difficulty breathing, 1 sip of strong coffee can serve as a reliable support. Important notes: this trick is only suitable for adults, not for children. Avoid overuse if you have heart disease. Asterisk. Tip 5. Reducing snoring. Sleep on your left side and hug a pillow. Snoring at night, something that may sound trivial, has ruined countless nights of sleep and even relationships. Some snore so loudly that their partner moves to another room. Some even wake up in the middle of the night, startled by their own snoring. Snoring isn't just annoying, it signals that the airway is being obstructed. Left unchecked, it can lead to sleep apnea, a condition with serious risks. But here's a surprisingly simple trick that many overlook. Sleep on your left side and hug a soft pillow. Sleeping on the side helps keep the airway open, preventing the tongue and soft tissues from collapsing into the throat, the main cause of snoring. Hugging a pillow stabilizes the body, keeping you from rolling onto your back, a position that makes snoring worse. A Stanford University study showed simply changing sleeping posture reduced snoring significantly in over 60% of people with mild to moderate snoring. No medicine, no devices, just a small change in sleeping position that can bring peaceful nights both for the sleeper and the one lying beside them. Sometimes, the secret to better sleep isn't in a prescription, it's in the pillow we hug every night. Asterisk. Tip 6. Nausea. Soothe it with fresh ginger or ginger tea. There are times when the body protests without warning. A bumpy bus ride that churns the stomach, a sudden stomachache at midnight, a round of chemotherapy, or simply a wave of unexplained nausea. At such times, we often feel helpless, unable to eat, unable to sleep, only clutching the belly in discomfort. But in the kitchen lies a small, miraculous remedy. Fresh ginger. From east to west, from traditional medicine to modern science, ginger has long been used to ease nausea from motion sickness and morning sickness, to digestive upset and post-surgery recovery. The secret lies in gingerol, the active compound in ginger. It can calm the stomach, regulate intestinal movement, suppress nausea signals traveling to the brain. Just hold a few slices of fresh ginger in your mouth, or brew a warm cup of ginger tea. The soothing effect spreads downward, as if a gentle hand were calming your insides. The beauty is, ginger is always within reach. No prescription, no waiting. As someone once said, ginger may not cure every pain, but it gives us the strength to withstand it. So if you have elderly family members who often suffer nausea from illness or weather changes, keep some ginger in the kitchen. Sometimes, comfort comes not from medicine, but from the simplest things. Asterisk. Tip 7. Hiccups. Plug both ears for a few seconds. Have you ever been struck by hiccups at the worst possible time? In the middle of a serious meeting, at a quiet cafe, or in the silence of midnight? Those involuntary hic sounds leave us embarrassed and frustrated. Out of instinct, we try everything. Sip water in tiny gulps, hold our breath as long as possible, swallow repeatedly, yet the hiccups stubbornly persist. Here's a strange but effective trick that neurologists often mention. Use your fingers to plug both ears tightly for 20 to 30 seconds. It sounds odd, but the mechanism is fascinating. When you block your ears, the pressure stimulates the vagus nerves, the same system involved in breathing, digestion, and yes, hiccup reflexes. Distracting this nerve can calm the spasms, making hiccups fade within seconds. Of course, it may not work on the very first try, but in awkward moments, this small, quirky trick is both effective and memorable, strange enough to make you smile, and useful enough to keep for life. Asterisk. Tip 8. Toothache. Press the Hagu point between thumb and index finger. Few pains feel as small yet as unbearable as a toothache. that sharp sting crawling from the root of the tooth up to the temple, piercing straight into the mind can make even the calmest person frown and clench their lips to endure. In such moments, when you can't reach the dentist yet, or the painkillers haven't kicked in, you can try a folk remedy passed down for centuries. Press the Hegu acupoint, the soft hollow between the thumb and index finger. Use the thumb of your other hand to press firmly for 1 to 2 minutes. In traditional medicine, this point is seen as an energy crossroad, capable of temporarily blocking pain signals. In modern science, it's called sensory gating. Stimulating the nerves here sends competing signals to the brain, distracting it and reducing the tooth pain for a short while. Of course, this isn't a substitute for dental care, but it can buy you a moment of calm until the medicine works or you reach the clinic. Sometimes, in that instant when we press into our own palm, we realize we're not entirely powerless against a tiny pain that feels big enough to break us. Dear friends, these 8 unusual but effective tricks are just a glimpse of the vast treasure of wisdom passed down through generations, wisdom that modern science is only beginning to unravel. There are countless more secrets so simple they seem unbelievable that can help us sleep better, stay younger, and even guard against life's most dangerous diseases. The question is, what would happen if we knew them sooner? Could one small habit change an entire life? Don't look away, because in the videos ahead, we'll reveal secrets even stranger, more surprising, and powerful enough to transform your health. So, subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss the next revelation. Until then, goodbye for now and see you in the next video, where a new secret awaits. Perhaps the very one you've been searching for all along.